Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Kiss, Blood and Stardust is actually a pretty apt title. We'll get into that. And there are about a bajillion and a quarter covers for this one. I, of course, got the Eric Carr cover. Whoa, sorry, Peter Criss. Just, it's going to be a bunch of people like, Eric Carr was awesome, God rest his soul, but damn it. Yeah, this is the Peter Criss cover, and it's freaking awesome, dude. Yeah, absolutely awesome. All right, so all the covers are great. All right, maybe you want to go with Ace Frehley, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, whatever you want. Don't care, but they're all pretty freaking awesome. All right. Anyway, let's get into who made this comic book. Kiss, Blood and Stardust. Writer Brian Hill. Art Rodney Buscemi. I'm sorry, please, Rodney, please. Relax. Don't get mad at me. Too many people are going to be mad at me for this, man. I'm always bad with names. I always butcher names. Colorist Adriano Augusto and letterer Troy Peteri. Editor Kevin Ketchner, because it's just like right there. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of freaking covers, and I'm not getting into all of those. Simply not. I'm simply not. Well, which cover do I have? This is cover C, so I'll simply say that cover C was done by Photo. Who the hell is Photo? Anyway, so I've got the one by Photo. So, anyway, yeah, this was a pretty good comic book. I like this. I can't say it's solid. And I'm more than happy to get into that. So, check this out. They're basically in the beginning. Oh, and by the way, soundtrack for this one, I went with Creatures of the Night. I'm not talking about the song. I'm talking about the whole album. All right? And I didn't quite get up to Love It Loud. But, yeah, or I Want It Loud. What the heck is the name of that song? Just, I Want to Hear It Loud. That one. Love It, yeah, I Love It Loud. Okay. So I didn't quite get up to there, so I'm telling you, forewarning, as soon as this video ends, as soon as I'm finished shooting this, as this is uploading to my computer, I'm going to be playing I Love It Loud right before I start reading another comic book. Just saying. You now know the future. All right. So this starts off with this dude looking at these guys singing Hotter Than Hell. All right. They're on stage, they're singing Hotter Than Hell. It's awesome. And there's just this guy, and we find out his name is Moonbutt, something like that. What is this moron's name? Johnny Moonson. Anyway, I'm sure that's a fake name. And he's basically like a Ziggy Stardust knockoff. In fact, later on, they call him a low-rent David Bowie, which I thought was pretty cool. Basically, this guy, I think he like basically worshipped Lilith, and Lilith gave him these vampiric powers, and then he went on, and I'm going to get into Lilith in a moment and everything. She gave him these powers, and now he's an immortal vampire, and boom, he's eating people. But he's doing it on the behest of the Illuminati. I know, really weird, right? There's a mention about you keep your symbols carved on the outside. Pretty horrible for a secret society. Not that horrible to me because I didn't see the symbols. Did somebody forget to draw those in? Or did somebody point to where those were in the comic book? I didn't see the symbols. Inside, outside, on somebody's head. Didn't see them. I didn't see them. Anyway, so the Kiss crew is killed so that they could be recruited by Lilith to go and kill this vampire guy, this Ziggy Stardust wannabe. Interesting. They talk about the bus driver. Apparently there were no roadies on the bus whatsoever, which is odd for Kiss, but I'm okay with it. This was a pretty good comic book, man. I enjoy this. I think this is going to be a pretty cool story. I've tried to read multiple Kiss stories before. I'm talking about their first one. I just talked about it in one of the comics recently, the What If Ghost Rider, because they mentioned the Kiss. They had this mock-up of the original Kiss comic book where they came in and hung out with Stan Lee, and they're like, listen, use our blood in the ink, man. It'll be awesome. And no, that's real. That really did happen. It's not the only time that happened either. Go and look up the history of Squadron Supreme, the 12-issue limited series. Crap, what the heck was his name? Grunwald. I believe that was Grunwald who wrote that. Dude, this was good. I like this. They pulled Hill pulled a whole bunch of this from different parts of society and whatnot. I saw on Twitter he was suggesting a book that he's reading about the occult. I don't know if this is going to be the book that he's using the occult books for, but Just for the sake of conversation, if you are watching this video, Mr. Hill, I am too embarrassed and too shy to contact you directly and offer my services, but I'm more than happy to talk to you about the occult. I was part of several occult actions, including the sound like a real professional. I can't remember how to pronounce it now. The OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis, which was Crowley's original thing. Anyway, there were, however, a couple of funny parts in here that were a little bit odd for me. The mention that Lilith, she says, yes, my name is Lilith. It's pronounced Lilith. Even if she said, my name is Lilith, it's pronounced Lilith. People don't usually talk that way. This is a funny thing. I've been married for 8 years, all right? More than 8 years now. And the funny thing about it is my wife and I don't actually pronounce our each other's names the proper way. We know each other very well. Clearly, we got kids. We're married. We love each other, like, madly. But our accents prevent us from the proper... Anyway, my wife is actually Somali, and it's hard for me to get the letters, the particular pronunciation of her name correct. Meanwhile, she calls me just a little bit. It sounds like Bell as opposed to Bill. So, like, that's always just a funny one between us. But so pronunciations are what they are, and I don't actually care about pronunciations. One of the suggested pronunciations has been that Lilith's real name is Lilith. But if that's the case, I don't ever want to hear you say Mexico. I never want to hear you say that. You have to pronounce it Mexico. But we're not going to actually do that, are we? So lots of pronunciations for lots of different parts of the world. There are dialects, there are accents. There are many different ways to pronounce many different things, and Lilith is perfectly fine. Lilith, for the sake of conversation, is actually the mother of demons. She is. This is part of Jewish folklore. It's Talmudic. In case you don't know, the Jews don't have just the old... A lot of people like to think, oh, the Old Testament is the Jewish books. The Jewish people will never accept the Old Testament as part of the Jewish books. We're like... Yeah, for you could say it's part of our books, but it has nothing to do with our books whatsoever. They use the Torah, all right? They use the Psalms, all right? They use stuff like that, but these are considered separate books. You can't just lump them all in together. It's a very, very, very basic understanding. Say, the Old Testament is the Jewish books. No, it's the Christian version of the Jewish books. That is important because the Talmud is not referenced at all. Lots of different texts are not actually referenced when we talk about the Old Testament, including the Apocrypha. That's never considered. But Lilith is actually based off of, let's see if I remember my Sunday school lessons, good Catholic boy growing up, right? Lilith is actually the first woman created. So a lot of people think she's a demon. Lilith is not a demon. She gives birth to demons, about 1,000 demons or 10,000 demons per night. I forget what the number is. I might be missing a comma there somewhere. It's either here or there. Anyway, but she's a human. She's a human who is simply cursed because she didn't want to stay married to Adam. Adam and Eve were actually created at the same time, or excuse me, Adam and Lilith were created at the same time. And she was created... According to Jewish folklore, again, Talmudic Jewish folklore, excuse me, at the exact same time from the same dirt and everything as Adam. If you go back and you look at the original text, and God made man, God created man in his own image, man and woman. So right there, it's indicating, and some people, you know, probably Christians, would turn around and be like, oh, no, you're just reading it wrong. No, I'm not reading it wrong. I'm reading it as it's presented. I'm reading it as it's presented in the original Hebrew. What do you call it? You could look at it in Aramaic. I don't care what you look at it as, but don't just say that you were taught this in Bible school or Bible studies or whatever, and no, forget your dogma, okay? Look at what's actually written. Man and woman were created at the same time, but Eve is not mentioned until the next chapter. I want to point out on that. And she was actually not created from the dirt. She was created from his rib. So let's, just stop, shh, quiet the voices in your head. It's funny how religion divides people so much. But it's, what do you call it? Anyway, so Lilith, according to legend, she wanted to be on top when they got the nookie. I don't see why Adam had a problem with this because personally, I don't want to get too much into my personal life, but yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, she wanted to always be on top, or at least she wanted her turn on top. And Adam wasn't down with that. And he was like, "Nah, I'm a man. I'm a man." He's like saying that song in the female voice. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm a man like a BG. And recent song too, I think. So anyway, she was like, I'm out. I want a divorce. And she left. And God was like, you're going to have demon children every night. Really? So anytime that there's a young boy who is, or anytime there's a man sleeping in a house by himself, she will come to him at night, and then she will sleep with him, and that's what wet dreams are. And she will then give birth to 1,000 or 10,000 demons every single night. So yeah, that happens. That happens. So cool, right? Now, the reason why I don't care, one of the main reasons why I don't care about the pronunciation is because you may have heard me mention Crowley before. I'm talking about Aleister Crowley. It's spelled Aleister Crowley, right? Yeah, no. Even Ozzy Osbourne completely screwed that up. It was Mr. Crowley. No, it's actually Crowley, Aleister Crowley. But if you say Crowley, we understand what you're talking about. We just understand if you're on the in or you're the out. That's all. So, yeah, man. Anyway, like I said, more than happy to offer my services and help out with the whole mystical aspect thing. I don't even need my name mentioned. You can mention the channel. That would be cool. But aside from that, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. This was really good. I enjoyed this comic book. I'm hoping that I'm going to enjoy this past the 3rd issue or so, because unfortunately that's where I usually fall off with most Kiss comic books, because they're just pumped out. You know what I'm saying? Like the first issue will be really solid, the second issue will be like, oh, this was slow, maybe it'll pick up again, and then by issue 3 it doesn't, and then I'm just like bored, so I just move on. Yeah, hopefully this doesn't happen. I like Brian Edward Hill, Edward Hill, in the when he does his comic books. I really enjoy pretty much most of what he does. So yeah, I'm hoping this is actually going to be a solid comic book. Kiss is also one of those dangerous groups. They will freaking sue you if you don't like their stuff. And I'm only being partially facetious. So, hey, no lawsuits over here, bro. All right, we're good. Right now, I like this. And yes, I totally believe. One of the things I actually really like about this comic book is that Kiss isn't just coming off as we're the all-powerful demigods. No, they were murdered in this. They were killed. All right, murder, death, kill. Happened. They died. They were very mortal in this. But now we get to see an origin of their powers, so to speak. I dig this. And of course, seeing that moon butt, whatever this Ziggy Stardust wannabe guy, this vampire dude, he's actually a fan of Kiss. I think that's going to weave into the story really well. And it was one of those really like blink and you miss it kind of things, because they show him before they actually show him. You'll understand when you're reading the comic book. Good book. Seriously good book. I would highly recommend this. Anyway, guys, that's enough of biblical studies for this particular. That's enough of the exploration into the occult and the pronunciation of names. Just go out and grab the comic book and enjoy the comic book for what it is. That's it. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.